Hey boys and girls, guys and gals, Jeff here with the Common Sense Camper. So, a couple of my subscribers watched my recent videos where I'm just out hiking with Stella, my puppy. There she is. And they asked me, how do you get that 7-month-old puppy to stay on the trail with you? Well, I can tell you this, it's a lot of hard work and you gotta spend a lot of time with them. The first tip I will give you, which should be blatantly obvious, is you got to take them out on trails. You have to get them familiar with the woods. When a puppy comes out to the woods for the first time, Stella, come. Oh, she's right there. All right, good girl. So there you go. You have to get them familiar with the woods. So the best way I can equate it is, imagine the first time you got on a roller coaster, all the things that were going through your head. You're seeing things, you're hearing things, the wind's in your face, your heart rate's going, you're sweating, you don't know what to expect, you have no idea what's gonna happen. And as you're going through that thing, everything in your head's telling you, oh my gosh, this thing's rickety, it's loud, it sounds like the bolts are coming out of it, and you know the air's cool coming off the lake, and all those emotions you're going through. But then after you do a couple more, you're used to it. It's kind of like a puppy, taking them out in the woods. You know, they come out into the woods for the first time, and it is just like Disneyland for them. They're smelling things, they're seeing things, they're tasting things, they're, you know, feeling things in their feet, the mud and the water, and it's like, ooh, this is cool, or this is hot, or this is mushy, or I don't like this. There's squirrels and chipmunks and deer and all kinds of animals that they're smelling and seeing. Stella's a Norwegian elk hound. If I haven't mentioned that a million times already, but for anyone new, she's a Norwegian elk hound. She's about 7.5 months old now. And again, I keep looking for her. She's like right on my tail. So that's a good thing. So she's a working class dog, tracker. They're bred to track elk hound and bear. And basically their job is to chase them, kind of keep them at bay until the hunter or their owner can get there and dispatch the animal. So that's kind of what they do. So she's not real good at fetch. You know, you like throw a ball to her and she like goes and chases it and then picks it up and drops it and just stands there and looks at you like, well, I'm not a retriever. So, but I digress. Back to training on the trail. So you have to get them familiar with the environment. You know, she's smelling tracks in the trail, whether it be deer or coyote or fox or whatever it may be. And so the more you bring them out, the more that becomes familiar to them. And now the excitement and the craziness is going to dissipate as you get them more familiar. So what I would recommend is pick a trail that you're familiar with, and that, you know, depending on how much you want to hike, maybe a couple miles. I mean, for me, I just swallowed a bug. For me, I prefer about a 3.5 mile hike after work or on the weekends. Come. Now she's gonna go nuts in the water. Good girl. Oh, you're a mess. Great, come on. Come. Good girl. Hey, come. So, yeah, so you got to take them on a trail you're familiar with. That's gonna do a couple things for you and the puppy. The dog, I'm convinced, can sense your anger, your fear, your confidence. And so if you're hiking a trail that you're familiar with, hey, come. If you're hiking a trail you're familiar with, they're gonna sense that. They're gonna sense your confidence. What that's gonna do is, by hiking that same trail, it's gonna build up their confidence as well. And so they're gonna get used to that trail. So it's very important. The other thing it's going to do is build trust with your dog or with your puppy that, hey, my owner knows what he's doing. He's not going to put us in any harm. I'm going to do what he says at all times, or at least 99, 98% of the time. Now, if you're not hiking woods, say you're in the city, you got to do the same thing though. You can't just leave them in the apartment or in the house. You got to take them out, get them familiar with traffic, sirens, trash trucks, backup signals, all those great things that you get to enjoy in the city. And the other thing that this does, by getting them out and about and exercise, it makes them a lot easier to train. The dog or the puppy that gets exercise every day has a little more subdued manner once you get home. You're trying to train them, whether it be treat training them or teaching them tricks or food training. I've been pretty lucky with Stella. I haven't really had any issues with her as far as like food guarding or anything like that. But if you have a dog that is guarding things, it's probably because that's their only outlet, and you got to get them out and exercise them. Now, I'm not a dog trainer. The dogs that I've had, I've done really well with. They've responded really good to the training. So you're probably asking yourself, well, that's all fine and dandy, but are there any devices or tricks that I can use right away to get my puppy to calm down? So I'm going to show you one here. Stella, hey, heel. And stay. Good girl. So, hey, heel, heel. So one of the things I have on her right now is this. And if you want me to do an in-depth review of that, I will. But it's a correction collar. A lot of people refer to them as prong collars. Now, I'm going to caution you. Do not buy a cheap one made in China, because the prongs on those are very sharp. They're not polished. I would recommend one type of prong collar, and that would be the Herm, H-E-R-M, Sprenger, S-P-R-E-N-G-E-R correction collar. That is made in Germany. Very well made. Now, I know some of you are thinking, oh my gosh, looks like a torture device. Well, so does a car going at 20 miles per hour running over your dog. And I say that, I'm being very blunt with that, because I've had a lot of people criticize the fact I use a prong collar. And then I educate them and I say, look, don't even take my word for it. Go look up the research. Go look at some credible dog trainers, or even if you just go on YouTube, guys that have millions of views, they swear by these things. And the reason is, when you have a puppy, they don't know what you want. They don't even know that they're supposed to want what you want. They are a puppy and they're like, I'm just gonna run around and be crazy and have fun. That's my job. The prong collars allow you to talk their language. Now, if you yank on it, yeah, it's probably gonna hurt them because it does, you know, dig into their skin. But again, if you get the right one, it won't cut their skin. It's not gonna break their skin. So if you yank on that, that's wrong. That's the wrong way to use it. You're supposed to just simply apply pressure to the collar to direct them to what you want. So I'm gonna turn the camera around here. I'm gonna show you how easy this really is. And once you start using one of these, you will not go back. So she has her prong collar on. She's a little excited. She's out in the woods having fun. And I'm gonna show you the amount of pressure this takes to make her do what I want her to do. Stella, stay. Stay. Okay, so I did not teach, stay. I did not teach her sit. I taught her stay, and we just bypassed the whole sit thing. No, stay, stay, good girl. So you can see I'm not yanking on that thing. I'm just barely pulling that. Can you do down? Stella, hey, down, good girl. All right. Okay, come, break. Good girl. So as you can see, very little pressure. Now when you first put it on them, you want to kind of get them familiar with it. They may barrel roll, they may tug on it and yelp because they don't like it because it's uncomfortable. But I'm telling you, if you stick with it, you're going to be far better off than taking a flat collar or a harness. So on a harness, I use a harness on her sometimes because it has a handle. A lot of times I'll take her hiking because I can see it's red and I can get her in and out of the truck a lot easier. The problem with harness devices is you're putting the lead, or the leash if you will, on the strongest part of a dog's body. So you're already at a disadvantage right out of the gate. Now, flat collars. The problem with flat collars is that they tend to, at some point, start sliding down and they ride low, not high. And if you're gonna do a flat collar, you want it up way high. This prong collar is up way high under her chin. You don't want it down here. But the difference is when you pull on a flat collar, actually you're not pulling, the dog's pulling. When you pull on a flat collar, it goes like this. And the problem with that is that can cause laryngeal paralysis. And my lab, Wrigley, before her, my dog before her, had that. Now, I don't know why. I don't know if maybe when we let her out, we'd put her on a lead that she would pull on it, but she ended up with laryngeal paralysis. And it's a very common thing, and it's very common with dogs that are basically on a flat collar their whole life. The difference is with this, is this acts kind of like an adjustable choke collar. So there's a ring in there that actually moves in and out as the pressure is applied. So when the pressure's off, it just goes loose. When it's applied, it pulls it tight. So that's a far better setup for your dog. It's a lot healthier for your dog. You're not going to injure your dog with a prong collar. So other than that, take them out, get them used to the environment, build up their confidence, keep them on the same trail for a while. Work them hard. They're not going to kill your dog. She ends up walking probably, I don't know, 2.5 to 3 miles every single day. She's about 7.5, 8 months old now, and she loves it. There are days when I'm not able to take her out. So I wasn't able to take her out yesterday, and she was a little crazy in the house because she's like, hey, dude, where's my exercise? So it's just like a human being. You got to exercise, you got to keep healthy, stay fit, and she loves it outside, absolutely loves it outside. And if you have questions, concerns, if you want a more thorough review of the Herm Springer collar, let me know and I'll do that here in a couple weeks. So this is Jeff and Stella. Good girl with the Common Sense Camper, camping out.